the last two areas, which is the intimacy with God and then the coming of age. So we've already gone through the seeking of God, searching for God, dealing with God, the search for knowledge, and now we're getting to the intimacy part. Okay? And this is the part that, this is really the hard part. I mean, this is the place where there's this full-fledged commitment for Christ unto death. This is without sugarcoating anything. God is saying, come follow me. I will give you a new life. And that new life that I'm going to give you is greater than any life that you could ever create for yourself. And you'll even be happy in it, even if it's difficult. And then these will be some of the things that I will want you to do. And they will be hard things, but I'll be there with you. And because of that love and that relationship, you will gladly do them. Or you'll sweat blood in the process of doing them. See? I'm talking about inside. The spiritual part on the inside of you is like, I have to do this. How can I not do this? My Lord is asking me to do this. What else in life is there but that? See? And so that's that intimacy part. And then the coming of age is a place that, very few of us actually get there. But it's that we're working towards. It is becoming like Christ. It is that Christ-likeness. It's the mystics call it it's the union. It's when someone sees you and you look just like Jesus. Now, you have to be real careful when you read some of this historical stuff, because they'll talk about the oneness, and there's even a term within historical Christianity. They'll even say deification. Okay? Now, when you read them closely, you'll see that they're not saying that you're going to become a god. Okay? But they're saying it like you're going to be Christ-like. And I think the best analogy for that comes with the irons in the fire. We don't have any blacksmiths anymore. And even when I was a kid, we used to go out on the ranch and brand the cattle, and we would heat the fire hot enough so that those irons would go in and they would turn red hot. And essentially, when that iron was sitting in the fire, before we could use it to brand with, you had to, or it would essentially disappear. You'd put that black iron in the fire, and it would get so red and so hot that you couldn't even see the end of it. And when it was that hot, then it was time to pull it out and brand. And that's that's the analogy here, is the iron is not the fire. They're two separate things. But when you look in that fire, that iron is so hot, you can't tell the difference. And that's the goal. That's where we're headed to. This is what Christ is drawing us to. This is the more. But it comes out, that's the end goal. But the intimacy part, the quote that God hammers me with over and over and over that He's given me is, your life's not your own, Mike. It's not yours. You gave it to me, didn't you? Now, we're not talking, what we're talking about here, this is to people that they know God, they've learned about God, and God's drawing them. Okay, here we go. This is what I got next. Come on. Let me show you. Come on. And He's saying, give me your life, and let me show you what I can do with it. Give me your life. This is a place spiritually where you literally redefine what success is. I was talking with one gal at the break, and I don't see her. But I see this. It's prevalent with the men that I work with for sure, but it's our culture. We have this definition of success that is, if I can heap this stuff, if I can make this amount of money, have this job, have this prestige, have all of these things. And so what we do, we translate that into our spirituality and say, God, help me do this so that I can be successful. And then when I get successful, then I'll tell them about you and that you were the one that made me successful. And when we get to this place spiritually, in this intimacy with Christ, that's not it, okay? We're well beyond the God help me, get me what I want. You know, we went to the cloud of unknowing and we realized that it's just hanging out with God. It is this, you know, Jesus is saying, can I just be enough for you? Just me? Just being in my presence be enough for you? And one of the things being at QT, in my breaking years, I mean, you know, we've talking about, you know, Dennis's story. In this time, this, you know, 6 or 7 years for me, it is a breaking inside of me so that I can taste this intimacy. This is the craziest thing, but every morning at 4 o'clock, you have to sweep and mop the whole floor because then you're going to have your morning crew at QT. I could almost taste that. Couldn't wait to get to that mopping place because God would meet me there. I would be the only one in the store. Everybody's gone. The night crazy stuff, that's another whole topic. You know, the night crazy, I mean, there's another whole world that goes on at night. And God loves those people, and He's wanting us to go there for sure. And that would be over, and the morning people, you know, hadn't come yet. And I'd go get my broom, and I'd sweep the whole floor. And I'd go get my mop, and I'd sweep the whole floor and mop the whole floor. It took me about 20, 30 minutes. But in that, God would visit me. I can do that for the rest of my life. And this is what we're talking about. See, it's not just knowing a bunch of stuff. It's not just, you know, volunteering for things that we know are good for us. One of the biggest dangers is doing good things without being led by God to do them. So I love Lewis's quote here. Anybody read any C.S. Lewis? He's pretty good, isn't he? In Mere Christianity, he writes it like this. He says, Christ says, "Give me all."